Well, hello, all my favorite people from the internet. Thanks for stopping by here at the Sprue again. Been a little minute for a video, so I thought maybe I would show some progress on how I've made out unpacking the Sprudio here. It's mostly done behind me that you can see. So I've got all the inventory unpacked and sorted, and I'll just do a little quick overview video of how things are set up at the moment. And I'll show you my workbench where the magic happens. And then I thought also I would go through stash ads that came in through the month of June. So let's get this turned around and take a look at how things have been going on here. All right, everybody. So now we're going to take a look at the progress that I have made with the Sprudio, basically. So everything is all unpacked now, but it's not organized at all. So I can show you basically what I have accomplished, and then all the organization is still yet to come. So let me get this flipped around, and I will show you. So I ended up having to go pretty much full archival style here with the shelving. So I have 7 of these racks, and because there's 5 bays on each, I now have 35 bins. But here we go, every other rack is on wheels. So the only organization I've got so far is that these 2 bays are sci-fi. That's pretty much all they've gotten so far. So this rack here that has bays 6 through 10, I can move it. I don't think I can do it one-handed without things falling off. But basically, you can see, I can pull these out, and the ones on either side of it are stationary. And then that gives me access to all of my kits. Now I just have to go through and organize everything in some kind of a fashion. And not necessarily even just organize. Now I have to, because everything got shifted all around, now it's going to be inventory to figure out what is what. But I do want to have some kind of an organization to have where, like all of the flatter boxes have to go at the bottom shelf of these ones here with wheels because they have a little bit less storage space in them. So I want to do something like have all of my Mobius kits all together, and then the larger boxed AMT kits, so like the Bronco and the Chargers and stuff like that, have them together because they're odd box size, and then all of the racing cars together, and have a little bay set aside in here. So half of this bay is from my dad's collection that he was working on before he passed, and so yeah, so those are bays 1 through 35. And then over here, on this guy here, Well of Souls in the background, this big monstrous thing here is 36 through 40. And it still needs to be organized. Like there's still some sci-fi stuff on this one and a whole bunch of trucks that didn't fit up here. Now they're down here. This is an old Nylint kit. Nylint diecast for the friendly local oil company, and the window, dirty window, you can see under the deck and into the backyard. And so now let's go over to the workbench. So I wanted to have a pegboard behind the workbench here, And we don't have an IKEA in New Brunswick. The closest IKEA to us is in Halifax, which is, a little over 4 hours away. And I don't get down there very often. So what's a guy to do that wants to get something from IKEA and lives 4 hours away from the closest IKEA? He goes to the IKEA that's 8.5 hours away because he just happens to be in Montreal for work. So this is a pair of the SCOTUS pegboards with some accessories. So there's the shelf, and I got some hanging hooks, clips. These clips are really great, as I ended up finding out that you clip up instructions to there. So right now I have a bunch of my Vallejo paints. These are AK paint markers, assorted sundry tools and things like that. I got a lamp and a random Pokemon model. These, I totally forgot that I had them. A whole bunch of K&S metals for doing some scratch building stuff. And a ruler, some random drill bits, a droid that I built at Magic Kingdom years ago, more Vallejo paints, and some more accessories and stuff. And this cutting mat came from Princess Auto, and I went and cut out on the vinyl machine my logos for the Sprudio model car genealogy, and spelled genealogy wrong. Oops. And I got a TV for watching other YouTubers and various things. And then the old plaque that I made for the original Model Car Podcast, RIP. And then I have a little cabinet over here with a paper towel and a little toolbox that I haven't figured out what to put in there yet. Dremel, display, drill bit thing. Tamiya tape dispenser, 3D printed from the Hobby Center, along with the base for that. So, okay, so this base is great for not tipping the paint over, or the paint, for the glue. And if you have this on very tightly, I can now say that when your cat comes and knocks this on the floor in the night, and you don't notice it until the next day, it won't spill. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, what have I got in here? Just some random bits. And then this right here is actually the case ended up getting destroyed. But this is the built-up Firebird that Matthew at Model Car Videos, he did a giveaway when he reached 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers or something like that. Anyway, he had a contest. I think it was 10,000 subscribers. You had to do a contest in his comments to guess the number that he was thinking of, and I got the closest, so I won that. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's the current state of the Sprudio. So now I can start getting to building and hopefully producing some more content for y'all. Now, when talking about stash ads that came in, I received my order from Lake Monster Details. So this is a feller in, where is he, in Minnesota, I think? Anyway, somewhere on Lake Superior. And he does a bunch of detail upgrade parts and decals for Star Trek models, mostly. So I got from him the TMP era sensor bands. So these are the decals that go around the saucer on the refit Enterprise for the 537 scale. And a bunch of, all these parts are for the 537 scale refit Enterprise, specifically the smoothie version that I have. So this here is the Constitution upgrade kit. So this comes with the clear deflector insert, the sensor housing, deflector dish. These are upgraded higher detail parts for the front of the nacelles, the lower sensor dish with, I think there's, what are these? Oh, there's... Okay, so that's the lower sensor dish. That is the bridge module. And then we have phaser blisters and some other red and clear. I think that is the torpedo launchers. And I'm not entirely sure what those little blue bits are. Oh, it's for the for around the shuttle bay. So there's instructions for these that come with it. And also these are the for the smoothie, these are the warp grills and details, because the ones that are in the kit aren't very good. There's no warp grill detail that's just kind of smooth, because it comes with these kind of foil stickers for that don't look very good. So I went with the violet color option. So these are the violet ones are for the inside that face each other, and then these ones here are for the outside of the nacelles. And then he also, because so he offers a propulsion pack for the 537 kits, but because I'm getting these parts for the smoothie, I have another one that's a later edition that I think I want to go with green strawberry detail parts for that one, just to kind of compare the two brands. But the smoothie only, these are only available by themselves. They're not in the propulsion pack, but the propulsion pack also includes the thrusters for around the saucer rim, and all of these parts are designed so that you can light the kit, which is kind of a step that I didn't know that I was going to be taking, but I'm going to try, I guess. And so here is the BC deck with the lounge. So this is the version, so this is goes under the bridge, and then there's these windows here and back. So basically this is all molded in clear. You mask off where the windows are and then paint it. But and again, they all come with instructions. But this one has the lounge, which was seen in the motion picture, and I don't think it was seen in any other movies. And then for Star Trek 6, they went and made this the dining room for having the Klingons over. So you can get that dining room also, but I went with the lounge. And then the last bit from Lake Monster is the impulse deck. So again, this is molded in clear, and basically mask off for the impulse deflection crystal and the engines, impulse engines back here. You mask those off, paint all of this. This should be blue, these should be red-ish. So that's what came in from Lake Monster. And then during my grand expedition down to Florida, in which I visited with Matthew at Model Car Videos, I also stopped at Wheels, Wings, and Waves, which is the hobby shop that is also, well, it's primarily the hobby shop, but the guy that runs Wheels, Wings, and Waves, Michael Guest, he's also the proprietor of MCW Finishes. So I picked up a bottle of this is mild lacquer thinner. Now this is supposed to be an equivalent product to the Mr. Leveling thinner, and so he's tested this with a bunch of brands, and it's kind of like your mileage may vary. Test it with your paint of choice at your own risk, and if you have success, let him know if it's not been one of these that he's tested with. So that's pretty cool to get trying with. And then I also picked up a can of Mr. Surfacing Finisher 1500 Gray, and then another bottle of the Mr. Super Clear UV Cut Gloss. Yeah, I've been hearing rave reviews about this stuff, so I want to try and get that. And it's just an aside, so all of this stuff was kind of put away, and then I gathered it so that I could make this video, because I keep a track of everything that I buy. So this was bought at, oh, there's an extra little sticker here. That's interesting. This particular can was bought Wheels, Wings, and Waves, $15.95. Now that's US pricing. And then I also have another bottle that I bought here. I thought I'd gotten them both down there, but turns out I didn't. This label here is missing because this I got at Daily Hobbies, which is in Whitby, Ontario. So that's $14.99 Canadian compared to $15.95 US. So I guess maybe Daily Hobbies will be my source for this stuff. So at Wheels and Wings and Waves, I also picked up some kits. He had a large table of overstock items that he was discounting. So because it was 50% off, I picked up another one of these, which is the original series Enterprise. This is the cutaway version, 5/37 scale. This is the latest reissue from, when is this from? 2015. So this is the reissue from 2015. Parts are in here available that you can build it as not the cutaway, which is what I'm going to do. But now that I have two of these, and if you notice here, for this nacelle, it's designed so that you can build it as a cutaway. So this buzzard collector is one piece. This one here is in halves. And, you know, you can't really glue together and make look good molded in clear buzzard collector halves. But because now I have two of these kits, I have two buzzard collectors, so I can build one of these as the series version, and then the other one I'm going to print the parts that I have, because I have digital files that are designed for a different scale, but I'm going to scale them up to 1:537 scale, and it's the parts to make this look like what was supposed to be the refitted Enterprise for the never produced Phase 2 television show, which was... Yeah, we'll get into that later. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm going to be wasting your time right now. Also on his discount table was this little guy. So this is the Chariot from Lost in Space, but this is the 1/35th scale kit. This is all Robert Yutson's fault. Soft J Yutson, he built one of these and compared it to the 24th scale one that several of us have in the community that are having issues with. Yeah, that's another story, but there's a big, huge issue because these tracks on the 24th scale version are rubber, and man, oh man, did they ever melt. Anyway, so this is the 35th scale version, and interesting story. So this was produced by Doll and Hobby Georgia, and the owner of Doll and Hobby Georgia is Steve Iverson, which is also the owner of Cult TV Man. So he has a website that keeps track of pop culture shows and events, and he also has a store where you can buy pop culture model kits and stuff like that. So he created up this company, but the interesting thing to me anyways is Doll and Hobby Georgia, but if you look at the box, the way the box is designed, all the different fonts and layouts and everything, and then especially when you get into the instructions, this kit was produced by Mobius. Very, like, Mobius's fingerprints are all over this thing. And I think Mobius was originally going to release a version of the Chariot themselves, but that never ended up happening. And the last thing that I picked up from Wheels, Wings, and Waves, I was kind of still am, I guess you could say. He never really stopped being a fan of the Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny shows. I became familiar with those back when they were, well, they weren't, not when they were airing. But anyway, long story short, I was really interested in those shows, and I really liked the spaceships that were in them. And Bandai did produce some model kits of those, but back when the shows were new, which was in the early noughties, I think. And I never expected that I would ever see them available. But as it turns out, Wheels, Wings, and Waves had all the ships. So I picked myself up the Archangel, which is the hero ship in Gundam Seed, and then it's also in Gundam Seed Destiny, plays a role in there. So this is 1/1700 scale, and this kind of piggybacks on Little Spru's adventure into Gundam modeling. So I figured, hey, I could give it a shot. I've always wanted to have one of these because I really like the design of this ship. So I picked that up. And then, if you folks have seen the video that I did with Matthew over at Model Car Videos, he did a video on his channel featuring me and my adventures in there. So from him, he graciously gifted to me another of the Europe model kits. This is the Panard Coupe 1895. So this is a really cool kit, 1/32 scale. These are from the 60s, made in France. So it's a quirky French kit of a quirky French car. Haha, see a theme here? And yeah, trying to figure out the history of these things. It's kind of sketchy. Like him and I keep digging in to try to figure out whatever happened to these, if somebody owns these molds. It's a little uncertain. And then lastly, I managed to get this guy here. So this is the AMT Ertl 57 Chevy Corvette Street Machine. Not normally known to be a Corvette fan. This is from the Muller era, where it's an extremely detailed kit with a very detailed chassis, all kinds of neat little parts. So yeah, Corvette Street Machine. This is jogging some neurons loose of there being a street machine group build that somebody's doing. Half a thought. I'm sure it'll come back to me later. But anyway, so that's that. That's it for the stash ads anyway. Well, I'm glad you guys stuck around to take a quick look at how things are going. So I just wanted to thank you for stopping by. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, you can, like and subscribe and leave a comment, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies even. And if you didn't like what you saw, you don't have to do anything. I won't hold it against you. But you don't have to do anything at all. That's fine. You watched it. That's great. So thanks again for stopping by, and I'll see you all next time.